So, good afternoon, class. Good afternoon,
Good
class. Can you
afternoon.
hear me? If you can hear me, you can confirm by thumbs up, or you are mute. Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir. You can continue.
Okay. So, before we begin, I want to take the roll call, although I will be also downloading from the meeting. So, if I call your name, you just say present. Philemon Gru. Philemon Gru.
Present, sir. Present,
Join,
sir.
join Juguna. Join
Present, sir.
Robert Kipchumba.
I'm present.
Okay. So I can share my screen for today's session. Okay. Are you able to see my screen? Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can see, sir.
Okay. Oh. So, before we start, my name is Langaterik. I'll be taking you through the computer networking. That is the unit of competency. And by the end of the lesson, or before the objectives of the lesson, who can remind for us what we did last time? I remember we had a session last week. Somebody to remind us what we learned last week, quickly. Someone? Someone? Somebody? Somebody?
Yeah, let me give it.
Okay.
So last time we learned about computer organization and architecture,
Yes.
and we learned the different types of hardware components, things like the input devices like the mouse, input output devices like the speakers. Yeah.
Okay, that is good. You can clap for Horace. Clap for Horace. So for today's session, by the end of the lesson or the session, you should be able to understand the steps in conducting a site survey to determine user needs and establish network topology. Also, you should be able to know or to identify the network components according to the site survey, and finally design and develop a network according to the site. So who can define for us computer networking? Computer networking. Remember, there's a difference between a computer network and computer networking.
A computer network
Networking.
is a group of many computers and electronic devices
Yes.
for the purpose of information sharing and resource sharing.
Okay, that is good. You can clap for joy. Clap for joy. We also have the importance of networking in modern organizations. These organizations, for example, we have offices, schools, governments, or ISPs. So the important number one is it enables fast and efficient communication. Remember from the definition, we said the computers are connected for the purpose of sharing or communicating. So we can proceed from the importance number two quickly. Important number two up to number three quickly. I can
It
see Robert.
enables
Yes.
it enables fast and efficient communication.
Yes.
It allows sharing of resources, that is printers, files, and softwares.
Yes.
It enhances teamwork and collaboration and provides centralized data management and easy access.
Okay, that is good. We have site surveys, but before we look at the steps under site survey, we have why do we need to perform this site survey? Or you have to look at the place for you to do networking. We have the following purposes to enable you to assess user requirements, understand physical environments, for example, buildings, rooms, and cabling paths. You also have to identify potential challenges, for example, interference, and also distance and obstacles, and finally collect data for informed network design. By so doing so, it will give you a guide on what you need before you do the actual networking. We have steps in conducting site survey. Steps in conducting site survey. Who can give us these steps just from the slide? Someone to give us the steps from the slide, kindly. Kindly. Somebody?
Okay, the first step is define user requirements. That's the number of users, applications, and the bandwidth needs. Number 2, we have to inspect the physical layout. That's the rooms, floors, and any obstacles. Number
Yes.
3, check for existing infrastructure. That's things like power, cabling, and Wi-Fi. Number 4, we have the document findings with maps and diagrams. And number 5, recommend suitable topology. It's either it can be pass, star, mesh, or hybrid.
That is good, Kipjumba. We also have the following network topologies. The following network topologies. Remember, when doing this networking, you have to choose the right topology according to the site requirements. For example, we have the first topology that is pass. This one is simple, but single point of failure. And we have another type that is a star, central device, and it is easy to manage. The third one is mesh. This one have high redundancy and costly. So that one will dictate the amount of expenses you need. And then the last one is hybrid. This one combines topologies for flexibility. For example, in hybrid, you can combine a bus and a star, or star and mesh, and the rest. We move to identifying network components. What are some of the network components from our various or the previous class? I remember we learned about the computer organization and the network components. Who can give us some of the examples of network components? Somebody?
Yes, I'll try.
Yes.
We have the input devices,
Yes.
output devices.
Yes. We have the PCs, router, or a switch, and then a Wi-Fi. Remember this, for a computer to function, it needs to connect to an internet or through Wi-Fi and the rest. The function of these components, for example, is transmission of media, cables, and wireless signals. In designing the network, you have to match the topologies to site needs. For example, we have the small office. You have to choose the star. In large campus, you have to consider the hybrid mesh topology and plan for scalability and security. This networking or the network site should be well secured to prevent the thieves. We also have to consider performance factors, for example, bandwidth and redundancy or the latency, and also create logical and physical diagrams before designing. Steps in developing the network, steps in developing the network. Someone to read for us? Somebody?
Okay, let me take you through.
Yes.
The first one is to procure identified components.
Yes.
The second one is to install cabling and devices according to design.
Yes.
Configure devices. There you have to take care of things like IP addressing, routing, and VLANs.
Yes.
There is the second last for testing network functionality and user connectivity. We all want to ensure that everything is connecting well. And then there is document configuration for future maintenance, because
Maintenance.
maintenance is very important.
That is good, Horace. And in summary and conclusion, site survey ensures accurate understanding of needs and environment. We also have correct identification of component is crucial for performance. A well-designed and developed network supports reliability, scalability, and security. And finally, networking is a circle. Remember, we have to perform survey. After surveying the site, you have design. After designing, you have to develop. After developing, you have to test if the network is working very well. And then after testing, of course, we have to maintain the networking from time to time. And that one marks the end of our session. But before we end the session, you can take this assignment instructions. You have to complete the following tasks based on what you have learned. You can write down this assignment. Write down the assignment. Identify factors to consider while using the network type, tools, and topology to be used. Is there anyone having a question? Anyone with a question? If you are, since you are all okay, so thank you and goodbye. See you in the next session. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.